Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode, Jackson versus Jackson. I'm your guy, Erik T. Jackson, coming back at you uh, with another weekend wrap up. So, we'll be wrapping up A&M versus Arkansas on Saturday and the Texans uh, versus the Bears from yesterday. Let's start with the Aggies. So, uh, what else is there to say? We got the W. That's the most important thing. Uh, but like Jeff Van Gundy used to say, we can't ignore in victory what we wouldn't in defeat. So, with that being said, uh, the quarterback. Let's start there because that's what that's where the team starts. And uh, he's been consistent so far. His last 4 games, he's inconsistent. That's his consistency is being inconsistent, and you can't get any more inconsistent than 50% completion percentage, right? Uh, 2 good drives, 2 messed up drives, that type of thing. Offensive line, inconsistent. They're all, they're still allowing people to be in his face to me often, but I think they have gotten better. I can say that. Uh, he seems to be throwing off his back foot too much to me. He doesn't step into his throws, and I don't know if that's a product of pressure in his face or just him not being comfortable. But he's got to fix that, man, because he does that, and the throw, even the touchdown catch to Evan Stewart, I thought it was going to be incomplete because he threw off his back foot, and it wasn't, you know, it didn't have as much velocity as you would have wanted it to have. But Evan Stewart adjusted, made the catch, touchdown, right? So I'll give the receiver all the credit in the world for making that catch. Uh, Defense. And now, isn't it funny? Like every time the cameras show DJ Durkin, all the games, he's like laughing and smiling, and the defense is getting ran through. And then they end up doing well at the end of the game. So maybe he knows something that we don't know, right? But it was a chess match between him and Kendall Browse, Arkansas's offensive coordinator, and they both had their moments. I mean, Arkansas definitely imparted their will on us running the ball, uh, and yet we stopped them when we needed to stop them. We made adjustments, and it definitely slowed them down in the second and third quarters. I mean, pretty much stopped them in the second and third quarters. First quarter was abysmal. Uh, we couldn't, and a lot of people want to point to the 3-man front. The 3-man front works. I mean, of course, it's not a running front. And I don't know why he didn't start off doing this, but when you blitz with it works. Like you can't just hold up against a very good running attack, only sending the 3-down linemen and having the linebackers have to read off all the linemen that are coming at them. It's not going to work. And once he started blitzing in the second and third quarters, our guys were there, and the running game from Arkansas was a lot less effective, save for the quarterback, because I mean, that's an offense's best friend is a great running quarterback, a good one, and Arkansas has a great one. Yeah, KJ Jefferson is a great running quarterback, and he made his presence felt. Even when we were shutting them down, he would get third downs, keep the chains moving, things like that, just with his legs and his sheer size. The boy is what, 240? He's a big boy. But in the end, we only allowed 21 points, 7 points. After the first quarter, you would have thought we were going to give up 40. All right, because they did what they wanted to do. We made adjustments. Now, I will say that was a bad decision on KJ's part to try and dive in from like the 3-yard line and reach the ball over, and give credit to A&M's guys for knocking it out of there and returning that thing. And Chapel did a great job of recognizing that Richardson was behind him and handing it off. Otherwise, I don't think we score. If we get tackled at the 20 or wherever he was at that point, I don't think we score on that drive, So that was the momentum shift, and it was what we needed. Now, what else in that game? Chris Russell started for Andre White, and he's been a beast all season. And he was projected to be what, third string or the third linebacker in the rotation. And now when Andre White comes back, I don't think they'll get him off the field. Andre has a lot of physical attributes, so he'll be in the rotation once he comes back. But I don't think Chris is getting off the field. So we win 23-21. Arkansas did again start moving the ball again in the fourth quarter. They scored the touchdown, and then that last drive was the one where they set up for the field goal. And one of the crazier misses, that I can remember. I think it would have missed if it hadn't hit the top of the upright, but that would have been a judgment call. The ref could have easily called it good or in, but it hit the top right, and if you're facing the goalpost, and bounced back into the end zone, and that was all she wrote. That was the football gods smiling on the Aggies, the good guys. And now we're 3-1 with 2 straight wins over top 15 opponents. Miami lost again, so that win is looking worse by the week, but I'll take this one over Arkansas any day of the week. I don't care what they do from here on out. That's a good football team. Give them Aggies. All right, let's talk about the Texans. Where do we start? So, the Chicago Bears have always been my team. Growing up, I was a Bears fan. I wasn't an Oilers fan, wasn't a Cowboys fan. Grew up in Marshall, Texas, Northeast Texas. I was a Chicago Bears fan. Monsters of the Midway, Singletary, Buddy Ryan, 50 defense, Richard Dent, all those guys. Of course, Walter Payton. And my 2 favorite teams came together when the Bears drafted Darren Lewis from A&M, and he played a few good years for the Bears. But so I just wanted to put that in there. But yeah, I've always been a Bears fan, man. And I currently have Justin Fields as my fantasy quarterback. And so I didn't get to the draft quick enough. So they auto drafted his butt. I would not have taken him. they auto drafted him for me, and I'm stuck with him because there's not a whole lot of better options. About the same but not better. But let's get to the game. But I'm a staunch Texans fan now, and it's Lovey going against his old team. That was one of the storylines. First time he's going against his old team. So I wanted him to, get the win, and I thought we could, and I predicted we win this game, a few weeks ago before the season started. Uh, so uh, let's start with uh the defense. I mean, as always, man, I have the Texan defense in fantasy football because I just love the way Lovey, coaches them. And they're going to always have, turnovers and, that type of thing and be aggressive. But Chicago ran on them to the tune of uh, almost 300 yards. Yeah, it was bad. And yet they only got the 23 points. It's very, very similar to the Aggies. Uh, it's a bend but don't break. Uh, you know, the Texans have a lot of issues, and missed tackling is the biggest one of all on defense, but probably on the whole team. We, now I didn't count it, and I haven't heard how many missed tackles we had, but it's got to be upwards of 20 or more. I mean, it was atrocious, and so we get that fixed, and and missed tackle, and it's almost like that's something that's just in you, you know. Uh, like I always say, it's tough to work on tackling because you either have it or you don't. Like you know how to tackle, you either do it or you don't. And the good teams usually do it well, and the bad teams usually do it poorly, right? No matter how much they do or don't work on it. That's what I've noticed over my uh, close to 20 years of coaching. Um, and the Texans are a bad team. So right now we are 0-2-1. I'm looking forward uh, to the draft next year already. Although I think we can pick up some more wins. I think Davis Mills will get better, right? Uh, so let's talk about Davis Mills. Do I want to just pull up his stats? I mean, is that what we are with guys? Like they stats prove who they are, who or who they aren't, right? I mean, his stats were decent. 62% completion percentage, 245 yards. He did throw the two interceptions, one touchdown. Um, one of his better games, I would say, better than the first two. Um, he was helped out by Damian Pierce, who had a really good game running the ball. They finally gave him 20 carries, and he knocked out 80 yards. But he fumbled twice. I will say that, and we recovered both of them, so he didn't lose two fumbles, but he did fumble twice. Uh, but to me, it just seems like it's hard for Pierce. It seems like he just gets like he can't run without getting pummeled by three or four guys. Like like he runs like more of a fullback than a running back to me. And that's not a recipe to last. Like they said, well, one of the benefits of drafting him was because Florida didn't use him right, and no wear and tear on his body, no more than 9 carries in any game. Yeah, well, he getting wear and tear on his body his rookie year because they are tagging that boy, and it is not pretty. and to me, it always looks like he's getting dumped on his head, dumped on his back, leg bent in awkward positions, and that's probably a product of not carrying the ball that much in his college career. You know, hopefully he stays healthy. Nico Collins sighting, 2 catches, 41 yards, one for 22, one for 19. I like that. Chris Moore got open, 3 targets, 3 catches, 63 yards. All right. Atkins, Pharaoh Brown, 3 catches, 31 yards apiece. You know, uh, the Texans just have to keep working at it. They're not a very good team right now, and everybody in the division won this weekend except us. I fully expected the game to go to overtime, and I thought we would lose in overtime because that's just what we do. Or or tie it, but Davis Mills trying to run a 2-minute offense, ball gets tipped. Now he didn't just throw it to the linebacker. If the ball wasn't tipped, it would have made it to the receiver. I really believe that, but ball got tipped, then picked off. Just our luck, just Davis Mills' luck. And they're set up perfectly at the 10-yard line with less than a minute to go. And that's the ball game, folks. Uh, so, who do we have next week? Let's look at it. Chargers. Chargers coming into town. Right now, they are 6.5-point favorites, but they got blew out by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 38-10, and Herbert is injured right now. He has a rib issue, so we don't know if they're broken or strained. We don't know, but he was struggling yesterday. So the Texans can win this game, I think. Not easily, but they'll be in it because of their defense. And they just have to make plays. They'll get a win at some point, and it'll probably be against somebody that we weren't expecting them to beat because they're going to be the underdog probably the rest of the way. But I'm not sure to be against the Chargers. I'm just saying. Jacksonville's looking really good these last 2 weeks. I knew the Titans would bounce back. They have too much talent and too good a head coach not to. And Indianapolis too. Just knew they would bounce back. Now I want to talk about Christian Kirk, who is an Aggie and who signed a big deal for Jacksonville, and he is producing. He's playing lights out for the Jaguars. They are using him how I thought Arizona would, but to me, it seemed like once Arizona got DeAndre, they stopped really focusing on Christian Kirk. He was like an afterthought, and they didn't move him around and use him in ways to get him the ball like Jacksonville is doing, and he is paying huge dividends for Jacksonville. So go Christian Kirk, man. That's an Aggie. I love to highlight Aggies doing their thing, and he's one that's doing his thing. He got paid, and he's producing. Love it. Even though I don't like Jacksonville, right? All righty. So that's a wrap up. Have any questions, comments? Just leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you. This has been a weekend roundup. Aggies, Texans. I'm your boy Erik T. Jackson. Till next weekend, folks. Peace.